sort of outlook on this issue? Because I really want to know. You know, if we look sometimes, if you look at something and say it's easy, then you start to think, you know, too highly of yourself. And then if you look at it and you say hard, you get discouraged. So what do you think our exact outlook should be in terms of this topic, cleansing your heart?
Look, when I said it's hard, I was speaking at the level of most people, because for most people it is very difficult, and it is very difficult to make salah on time, especially in this world today where everything is materialistic. Even if you're driving and you try to be good, you see a billboard, you see something haram on it. Everything is calling you to haram. So for the average person, it is hard, and that's why you don't find that many religious people. But it depends what level you are. For instance, someone who prays 5 times a day, and he prays just the fard. If you ask him to pray the sunnah, he'll look at it like, you know what, it's not that hard, I can do it. If I can pray. But someone who doesn't pray 5 times a day, and you tell him pray the sunnah, pray the fard and the sunnah, he'll look at it like, it's tough, right? It's tough. So it depends what level you're on. I mean, for some people, for them a sin is to, for example, Abu Bakr, it said that when he was dying, he was crying, and they asked him why. He said there was 1 hour in my life when I used it not remembering Allah. For him that was a major sin. It caused him to cry. For us, that's normal. For us to go 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours without remembering Allah. You see what I mean? But we should never look at the self, pleased with ourselves. Oh, you know, I'm good, it's easy for me. No. Always look at yourself, I don't want to say negatively, but look at yourself critically. And because the self always tricks.
In regards to salah, what can we do to improve our khushu'? Like, what would you advise us to do to take the right steps?
That's, I mean, a whole different lecture on itself, khushu'. But these are the things. First thing is, stay away from sins. If you stay away from sins, the second thing is, dhikr. And then when you come to salah, you'll be able to focus. Because, just like if you say, okay, I have a job interview today, and I'm wearing a suit, I'm wearing a nice white shirt, and I don't want to get it dirty. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to stand in front of my boss and I'm not going to be able to look right. So the whole day you have to make sure your thobe or your shirt is clean. So focus on that, and then when you go, and you can be able to stand in front of your boss in a clean manner. Whereas if you go and, for example, let me tell you something from myself. When I'm asked to come to Mitzvah, I mean, many times I'm busy, so I'll prepare very quickly, like today, right? And I'll come, and I'll be able to give it from here, from my head. But if I take some time out before that, sometimes if I have some time and I get to reflect over it, and this is for anyone, and you reflect over it and you think about it, and then you go and you give it, you're able to give it from the heart. You're able to give it from the heart. Whereas if you just put something together very quickly and you weren't really reflecting before that, you go and you didn't get a chance for it to absorb it. So the same way before salah we should be in dhikr, and that's the purpose of the sunnah. One of the purposes of the salah, the sunnah, is to get us in the mood for salah. So like I said, this is the heart. Every time we sin there's that dot. And that dot stops me from seeing God in salah. So the more dots I have, the less focus I have, the less I can see. And then the light of salah tries to come in, and then there's too many veils of dots. So it's not going to penetrate my heart. And the light of Quran tries to come in and it doesn't penetrate. So I have to remove that first. Remove it. And then I can nurture. Just like the cup. Remove the dirt, cover it, protect it, and then it'll be healed. And it can function normally. Then the eye will start seeing properly. If you have dirt in your eye, first thing is get rid of the dirt. And then after that you can see properly. Any other questions?
They always advocate to clean your heart and do other good stuff to erase the bad, right? But then you see like all these Muslims, they're praying 5 times a day, and then at the same time they're doing like all these other things that like you'd be shocked that they're doing. So like, how could that be that if you're doing something good and at the same time doing bad stuff? You know?
This is most people who have sick hearts. Okay, this is how most people are. No, you're not going to find someone who's completely perfect. So you might find someone, for example, who prays 5 times a day, and then he has a very bad attitude with his wife, and he speaks to her with nasty words. He curses at her. Or you might find someone who prays and then he lies, or she lies, and they backbite. It doesn't mean they have a pure heart. Because someone does something good, it doesn't mean they have a pure heart. It doesn't mean they're dead either. The fact that they're doing something good is good. It doesn't mean we say, oh, you know what, stop it completely. No, keep doing the good and decrease the bad. But sometimes, for example, let's say salah brings you 10 steps closer to God. So you do your salah 10 steps closer. And then you go home, and your mother again, she cooked that meal you don't like, and then you just say, oh, like that to your mom. It brings you 20 steps back. Now are you closer or farther from where you started? Farther. And then you make your salah, it brings you again. And you make tawbah, it brings you again, starting point. And then you pray salah, you do Quran, and you're up there. And then the next day you fall back again, and then you go back. So you have to stop, we have to stop what brings us back. Until you reach a level where you can't go back anymore. You're too close. And you cannot go back, you refuse to go back. Does that make sense? Yes. Any sisters have questions? Any sisters? Okay.
I recently met a brother. He's like a lot older than us. Like he's, I guess between our age group and their age group, right? And he has him in like he's recent. Like I've been talking to him, and like he's getting like closer to Allah and trying to like get back on track with the deen. But the problem he has is that he hasn't been praying like ever since he was young. So I don't know if it's the right thing to tell him to like make up the prayers while he's praying now, because that seems like it would be too difficult. Or should I just tell him like it would be easier to just like be consistent with the prayers now? Because I heard a couple of opinions that like you need to make up the other prayers that you do with like the nawafil, like sunnah and whatnot. But would it be better just to focus on the
Yeah, I believe the majority of scholars, or at least in my opinion, the correct thing is to not tell him you have to make them all up. Especially if it's been years, his whole life, so you can tell him make up 30 years of salah. That's not gonna, I mean, I don't even know if that's even possible. But just tell him to do the fard, and his sunnah inshallah will make up for what he lost of the fard. Any other questions, sisters? Feel free to ask any questions. Anything else, brothers? Yes, go on.
You remember at the end of this talk you were talking about noon? I just wanted to ask what's the like a quick I guess translation of the like the meaning of the ayah. I don't know what surah it is, but something little like that.
Yeah, this ayah is a long ayah. It's an ayah, it's from Surah An-Nur. It speaks about Allah. Allahu Nur as-samawati wal ard. Allah is the Nur. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. So any light that comes to us is from Allah. So spiritual light is from Allah as well. Allahu Nur as-samawati wal ard. And it goes on to say Mathalu Nuri, and the example of his Nur. And the scholars, they differ. What is this Nur? Mathalu Nuri, some say he's the Prophet. And this verse goes on to explain or describe him. Kamishkat and fi misbah, and it goes on. Others say it's the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what the verse is basically saying is that the one who has nur can only get it from Allah. So let's say someone he says he wants to go to a certain place, and he takes the wrong path. Even if he gets close, is he there? No. Let's say he wants to go to Newark, and he ends up in Elizabeth. He's close, but he's not there. So someone who says, let's say, I want to find Nur outside. I want to, instead of salah, I'm going to do some yoga today, or meditation, right? So this person, he thinks he has arrived at light, or through any other way, and he has not. Even he might be close, he might have gotten something, but it's not God. So any nur that comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and any darkness is because a lack of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heart. And Allah, he describes them, he goes on in those ayahs after it to describe those who are in darkness, كَظُلُمَاتٍ فِي بَحْرٍ لُجِّيٍّ, like in an ocean and waves on top of waves. Even if he stretches out his hands, he cannot see it from darkness. So sometimes someone is so straight, it's so clear, truth is so clear in front of them, they can see it. They cannot see it. That's it. Any last questions?